Hello everyone and welcome to our Royal Rumble 2021 predictions video. I'm Henry Higgins.
And I'm Josh Higgins.
And through the course of this we're just going to be giving you our picks and our predictions for who we think is going to win the matches at the 2021 Royal Rumble tonight.
Please note that the order of these predictions may not be the order that the matches are shown on the event. They're just the order that they are on the Wikipedia page.
And we're going to be starting with the first match listed here, which is Sasha Banks versus Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's a one-on-one match. Josh, who do you think is going to win?
Personally, I think Carmella's going to win this one. I think Sasha Banks has had a good long run with the belt, and I think it's time to give it to Carmella and kind of push her a bit.
So you're going with Carmella. I agree. I think Carmella is also going to be taking this one, just with the way the storyline has been going. Ultimately, she does need a victory at some point to justify the character and the boasting. Reginald is going to do something, I believe. He was phenomenal in the match he had recently on SmackDown with Sasha, surprising a lot of people with his acrobatics and his skill. And I believe that Carmella is going to win the belt, whether it runs to WrestleMania. Remember, we've got Fastlane between now and then. Sasha could get it back, but I believe Sasha Banks is going to take this one. So Josh and I are in agreement there.
Next match on the list is Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the WWE Women's Tag Team belt. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Asuka and Charlotte should be pretty much an undefeatable team. However, I believe there's certain elements at play here. Charlotte has cost Asuka her undefeated streak. She eliminated Baszler from the Royal Rumble last year. She defeated Rhea Ripley for the NXT belt at WrestleMania last year. These are all decisions I think were wrong. As talented as Charlotte is, I believe they were the wrong decisions. For this one, I think that Nia and Shayna are going to take it. I think they're going to take it through miscommunication as well between Asuka and Charlotte, leading to a WrestleMania match for Asuka's Raw Women's title at WrestleMania, and I think there Asuka will get her win back. But for that to happen, they need to lose the tag team titles tonight, and that's my prediction. How do you feel about it?
I would admit you have made many good points there, but I think personally that Asuka and Charlotte Flair are going to keep the belts, and I will explain my reasons later on once we get to another match.
Oh, that's interesting. The next match on the card is one I don't think any of us are really looking forward to. It's Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Goldberg. It's a match no one's asked for. It's a match no one cares about. I'm hoping it is simply going to be used to right the wrongs of Goldberg beating Kevin Owens, because his match with Lesnar at WrestleMania did not need it, and righting the wrong of Goldberg defeating The Fiend, which they seem to have pretty much written out of canon at this point. I take Drew winning a short match. I think he's going to counter a spear with a claymore. That will be the victory. And from a personal standpoint, I want Drew to win, simply because I've known him for over 20 years at this point. We trained together. I was opposite him in his debut match, and for the record, I pinned him. That is a feather in my cap that is never going to stop being mentioned. But for this match, Drew McIntyre is going to beat Goldberg in a quick, hopefully mostly a squash, victory. Josh.
I also agree with you. If Goldberg does win it, there will be riots. People are going to be so annoyed.
Oh, yeah.
After, like you said, the events of him beating Kevin Owens and The Fiend, they can't mess it up a third time.
No, I mean, even fans of Goldberg, like Ross Tweddle from Cultaholic, Goldberg got him into wrestling. He doesn't want Goldberg to win this match. This is the type of thing where you use the name value of the legends to put over your current stars, and I'm hoping that's what we see here. So far, we've only disagreed on one of the 3 matches we've spoken about. What's the next one?
The next match is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, which is a last man standing match for the Universal Championship. Who do you think is going to win?
As much as I would like Kevin Owens to win, he's very much, not just because of the stunner, he's very much in the Steve Austin role of he's a better challenger than champion. If you look at Austin, you obviously weren't around for this, but when you look at Austin's run during the Attitude Era, his chase for the belt was always more entertaining than his time holding the belt. And with this, Roman Reigns is heading, I believe, for a title contest against my pick for the Men's Royal Rumble, which we'll talk about in a bit. So I think Roman Reigns is going to beat Kevin Owens here. The last man standing stipulation gives them an out to keep Kevin Owens strong, which I believe they will do. The Usos can get involved. Pretty much anyone can get involved at this point. They could even debut someone from the Anoa'i family. There's a few names on the independent scene at the moment. So that's a long-winded way of saying that Roman Reigns is heading into WrestleMania as the Universal Champion. Do you feel differently?
I believe we both have the exact same pick for the Men's Royal Rumble and who he will be facing at WrestleMania. So yeah, I personally think that Roman will take this and go on to WrestleMania with the belt.
Okay, so we're both in agreement that both men's champions will retain their titles. That's very interesting. The penultimate match on the card is the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, this is open to a lot of conjecture because so far there's only been 13 of the 30 entrants announced for the event. However, I believe we've got the same person for both Rumbles, based on what we've spoken about before, but we will find out. Our pick, or my pick, for the event is already announced, and for me, that is Bianca Belair. I cannot see past Bianca Belair. I can see her winning the Rumble. She's currently in a feud with Bayley, where she beat Bayley clean on SmackDown the weekend just gone. I believe she's going to win that match. She's then going to be challenged by Bayley at Fastlane, win that, and then head on to face one of the 2 SmackDown champions. Then she's going to head out to WrestleMania to face one of the 2 women's champions. Because I've already predicted Asuka versus Charlotte, who are going to be defending fighting for the Raw Women's title at the event, I believe it will be Bianca Belair versus Carmella. I don't think Sasha will get the belt back. So for me, Bianca Belair is winning the Royal Rumble, going through Bayley a second time, going to WrestleMania, taking the belt from Charlotte, and cementing herself as the future of the WWE Women's Division. That's how I see it going out. Josh, how do you see it playing out?
I agree with you on your winning pick. I do think Bianca Belair is going to take this, but I do think they're going to do something similar to last year's in the Men's Royal Rumble, where The Rock was beating down everyone. Someone would come out, they'd instantly get thrown out. I think they're going to do something similar to that with Shayna Baszler. So I think they're going to be pushing her to be winning it for pretty much the entire Rumble. But then Bianca Belair is going to come out and then she's going to take it instead. I think it's going to be maybe a bit of a surprise for some people, be quite obvious for others, but that's how I think it's going to be.
That's a fantastic shout, because last year at the Rumble they both tied with 8 eliminations each. Bianca got 8 eliminations during her run earlier in the Rumble. Shayna came out, I believe she was number 30 last year, and then she eliminated 8 in such quick succession. So they've got that parallel going on, so I think that's a fantastic shout. But we both still think Bianca Belair is actually taking the match itself. Okay, now with there only being 13 announcements for the Rumble for the field of 30, that does leave 17 unnamed people. We do believe there's going to be some legends. We do believe there's obviously going to be some NXT women in there. Do we believe anyone will debut in the Rumble? Like their actual, not NXT, their complete WWE debut in the Rumble. Do we think that'll happen here?
I personally don't think. I think with the whole lockdown happening, with no one being there, I think if someone were to debut, they need to debut to a crowd. A proper crowd.
Okay.
The final match is the Men's Royal Rumble. 21 of the 30 have been revealed, which means there'll be 9 mystery opponents. Some may be revealed between now and the show, but that is for later. Through everyone who has been announced so far, who do you think is going to win?
Well, they've announced that Randy Orton's going to be number 1 and Edge is going to be number 2 in the Rumble, so they're starting it. It's going to be interesting this year because obviously there's no crowd. There is going to be the countdown and the buzzer. There'll probably be piped in cheers and boos and reactions. So will they have surprise entrants? I believe there'll be some NXT people like they did last year, with Keith Lee being the main one from there. So I think they will have some NXT guys called up for that match. But having like a huge return with no live crowd, or like you mentioned earlier, having a debut with no live crowd, there's not just the live crowd, there obviously is the people watching at home as well, but we have to work within our limits. So I don't know who the 21 I don't know who the 9 remaining people are going to be. However, again, like with the women, my prediction for the winner is Big E, and he's already been announced. They've been building up Big E, especially when they split the New Day with Kofi and Xavier going to Raw and Big E staying on SmackDown. Big E's been getting his singles push. He's got the Intercontinental title. He's been doing well with that. So I think they're setting him up. They're using the Intercontinental title like they used to, which was the stepping stone to the world title. And I think this is where my prediction of Roman winning his match with Kevin Owens comes in, that we are going to see Roman versus Big E at WrestleMania, and we are going to see Big E be crowned the Universal Champion, which will be an amazing moment. It will echo Kofi's win. It will be on par with Kofi's win if he does it. Big E fully deserves it. However, the outside bet there is Shinsuke Nakamura, who has been having a hell of a run since he had, and similar to Kofi actually, he had a gauntlet match where he didn't win, but he ran through a number of people in that gauntlet match. He had some tough matches that he came through, and he did fantastically well in. And at the moment, he's turned face. He's gone back to his old music without the lyrics, so people can chant along again. And it's down to Shinsuke and Big E for me. But the good thing is, and I was speaking to you about this earlier when we were talking about the show itself, with there being 2 world titles, you don't need to win the Rumble to get a world title shot at WrestleMania. You can work a storyline there, which helps. It gives a slight bit of unpredictability to the show. I've been going on a bit. I've been talking a bit too much. Basically, my pick is Big E for the Men's Royal Rumble. Outside chance of Shinsuke, but Big E is the one for me. Josh, please stop me talking. Who do you think is going to win the Men's Royal Rumble?
I 100% agree with you there. I think Big E has been having a really good singles push ever since the New Day got split up. So I also agree with you there. I think Big E will take the win, but I don't count down on Shinsuke getting a shot at a different belt.
I can see Shinsuke getting something out of it, yeah. So that is our predictions for the 2021 Royal Rumble, the matches that have been announced so far. There may be something on the pre-show that we haven't been told about yet, but for now there are 6 matches on the card. We disagree on just one, which is the tag match. So that is going to be the one that decides who wins the predictions for this evening. Outside of that, who do we think will have the most eliminations? These are just for fun. Who do we think will have the most eliminations in the Men's Royal Rumble?
Out of everyone that's been announced, I think it is kind of obvious that Braun Strowman will be getting most of the eliminations in this Rumble. He is, from everyone, he is the biggest and
the baddest, and he is the monster among men. I think one of two things is going to happen with Braun, who looks fantastic. He's got himself in such great shape. Either Braun is going to be in there for a while, tossing people out left and right, or he's going to be in and out quickly like they've done with people like the Warlord and the Great Khali and some of the other bigger guys. They've all kind of just teamed up and hoofed them out. An outside bet for me, looking at the list of people on there, is Mustafa Ali. He's not the biggest, but he's incredibly talented, and he has a whole gang behind him. They haven't been announced as of yet as being in the match, but that doesn't mean they won't be. So that could be interesting. So Braun is the obvious one, but don't sleep on Mustafa. In the women's match, I think it's more clear cut. Again, it's going to be Bianca or Shayna, like we spoke about. Again, we were going to do, will there be surprises and such like, but the whole COVID thing, I think, kicked down the balls. So that's pretty much it for the predictions video. If you agree with our predictions, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree, let us know who you think is going to take the victories.
Please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.